Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello. I hate TVU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It still says that TVU voice in the top left corner, which is the problem the other day, but it corrected itself. I have no idea, man. You do hear me? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, hello. Hello, check, check. 1, 2. And if this isn't stable, we can't go with this. Hello, hello. It's
Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Tahesha Moise and Christian Morgan this afternoon.
Yes, we are here to inform you, let you into our world, and let you know what's happening across the world.
Yes, be sure to use our hashtag #4to5 to stay connected. Also, chat with us throughout the show on our live stream on Facebook. Well, let's get started this afternoon, and we will begin right here in Guilford County. Pre-K through second grade students, teachers, and parents are getting ready to return to Guilford County schools. District leaders met last night to approve the first step of their re-entry plan. Smaller specialized groups of students will return this upcoming Monday. Meanwhile, 3rd through 12th grade students will not return until after the holidays. GCS Superintendent Dr. Sharon Contreras said the decision was tough, but in the interest of the kids.
Recommendations before you were not and are not an easy one to make. In fact, it is one of the most difficult recommendations I've had to make. Studies have found that full-time online learning does not deliver the academic result of in-class instruction. I am concerned about every single student.
When more students come back to classrooms in January, they will attend only 2 days a week in different groups. Parents are now being advised to check with their school for a more detailed daily reentry protocol.
In other news, Dr. Fauci says as long as Pfizer vaccine is approved, shots will be most likely available for Americans by April. Pfizer is now preparing for distribution on the vaccine, and that would be a complicated process to get it. Now, the vaccine needs to be stored at -94 degrees and will need to be delivered in 2 separate shots at different times.
North Carolina is already planning for vaccine distribution whenever one becomes available. The vaccine will be distributed in 4 different phases. People in phase 1 would get the vaccine first, and that's actually broken down into 2 different subgroups. Subgroup A includes healthcare workers and first responders, while subgroup B includes long-term care facility residents and staff, as well as adults with a high risk of complications. Phase 2 includes teachers and school staff and adults with one chronic health condition. It also includes anyone older than 65. And phase 3 includes kids, young adults, and essential workers who have no underlying health conditions. The last and final phase 4 would be the rest of the state's population.
The deadline for anyone needing to apply for the state's HOPE program is just a few hours away. The program is designed to help low to moderate income renters who are having trouble paying rent because of COVID-19 and pay for things like rent and utilities. You have until 6 p.m. to apply. You can apply by going to nc211.org/hope, or you can just call 211. Renters must be at least 1 month behind on their rent or utilities when they apply in order to be eligible.
Thanksgiving is going to look a lot different because of COVID-19, but a doctor at Novant Health is helping out by sharing advice on how you can make sure you have a healthy holiday. Governor Roy Cooper lowered the indoor mass gathering limit to 10 people. Dr. Ashley Perrott at Novant Health Salem Family Medicine says it's a good idea to keep get-togethers small. She also says traveling on Thanksgiving should be avoided, but there are some creative ways to spend time together in person while staying safe.
Instead of having a meal together, agreeing to meet somewhere to take a walk afterwards is a great idea to start some new family traditions.
And she also recommends having a bonfire if the weather permits. If you do need to stay inside, you might consider opening a window. Make sure you practice those 3 W's and keep the number of people inside the kitchen to a minimum.
All right, weather-wise across the triad, we have taken quite a different approach to weather today than we've seen over the last several days. Scattered rain really moving all across the area right now and covering the state. There's still much more of that to come, too. You can see all this rain and all this moisture coming up from the south and really combining with this cold front as it slides by to bring us a pretty healthy soaking of rain. As that cold front comes by heading into tomorrow, I really don't think we've seen our heaviest rain just yet. That will hold off until tomorrow, and then we start clearing out heading into the weekend. So let's take you through in time on Futurecast and show you that scattered rain, heavy at times, will continue as we head into tonight and in through the overnight hours. But I really think that batch of the heaviest rain we're going to get is going to come through with that cold front tomorrow morning. So your Thursday morning commute is actually looking quite nasty. And also I think that's where we'll have the best concern concern for any flooding issues as well. So tonight you can plan on that rain continuing, heavy at times. Temperatures not going to move a whole lot. We'll only get dipped down into the mid 60s for your overnight low. Your Thursday, again, plan some extra minutes in your morning travel and be extra careful on the roads. I really think that Thursday morning commute is going to be nasty with rounds of heavy rain continuing. By the afternoon, it tapers off to just more of like a drizzle, and the temperatures will also start to fall behind that cold front. As far as rain totals go, I mean, we're going to get really socked with some rain, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches, even more than that in some locations, especially to the south and to the east. But generally, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain is going to be a good bet as we head over the course of the next few days. Finally, there is relief by Friday, and heading into the weekend, things do look to trend drier, and they also tend cooler, more fall-like. We'll be in the upper 60s on Friday with some sunshine coming back. Saturday and Sunday are both nice with temperatures back in the mid 60s.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup right now. Those scammy Sammies are back at it again. The IRS is warning you of a stimulus check scam. Now, if you get a text from someone promising a stimulus check, do not click on the link in the text. It will take you to a fake IRS website. The IRS says criminals are preying on those with hardships due to the pandemic. It's all part of a phishing scam that won't provide any money, but will steal your personal information. And remember this, the IRS will never text you or email you. JCPenney is one step closer to exiting bankruptcy later this month after announcing a new ownership deal. Simon Property Group and Brookfield Asset Management, the nation's largest mall owners, are buying the ailing retailer for $1.75 billion. Lawyers representing the deal say it will save 60,000 jobs, but they did not say how many stores will be saved as a result of the deal. Safety officials are recalling 350,000 Ring doorbell cameras that could overheat and possibly damage your home. The recall impacts second-generation doorbells when the wrong screws are used to install them. Ring has received 23 reports of doorbells catching fire and causing property damage, as well as 8 reports of minor burns. The $100 smart doorbells were sold in stores through Amazon and Ring.com between June and October of this year. And Ada is now a hurricane again. The Category 1 storm gained strength this morning off the coast of Florida. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center in Miami issued a hurricane watch for a 120-mile stretch that includes Tampa and St. Petersburg. The center says life-threatening storm surge is possible early Thursday, and forecasters are advising residents to heed warnings from local officials. More of your 4 to 5 when we come back.
Yes, sir. Mic check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello. Okay.
Can you repeat the order?
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. The pandemic has affected virtually every aspect of life, including how the people who save lives are trained. When community colleges cut back on EMT courses, the steady flow of trained technicians came to a halt, creating a demand. Lifestar, a private ambulance service based in Winston-Salem, felt that demand and decided to take action. Darren Ziegler says it sparked a new idea.
We saw a decrease in EMTs, and so, we really looked at, okay, what can we do to help with this issue? And we are a teaching institution through the North Carolina Office of EMS. And so we decided, well, let's offer our own EMT class. Let's start our own academy.
That academy teaches a 5-month course in just about 8 weeks to fast-track well-trained EMTs and get them into the field. If students are hired by and keep a job with Lifestar, they'll reimburse them for the cost of their course. Ziegler says it's a great opportunity for people to learn.
People that are at a point in their life where they want to make a career change, maybe this is something that they've always wanted to do. They've wanted to help people but didn't know how, or just didn't have the opportunity, or wasn't at a point in their lives where they could do that.
And they are now accepting new students. They'll finish the course at the end of January. You can sign up on their website, and I have linked you to it on ours. So guys, when I was talking to Darren today, he says a lot of EMTs go on to become paramedics. Maybe they go into research, nursing, and medical school. And when that happens, there are EMT roles to fill. And that's fine as long as community colleges are essentially cranking out highly trained technicians to take their spot. But when that's stopped, they're really left with a void. So this is a way that they can remedy that.
Yeah, and you talk about somebody or people that are essential in our world today. We really can't afford to have a shortage of EMTs. Thank goodness they're doing this. This is great.
Yeah, and it's one of those, you have a problem, hey, we got to figure out how to solve them. And then for this is like those who graduate already have a guaranteed job. So that is a good point in this too, because they don't have to search afterwards. Now, I do have a lot of friends who are in the medical field, started as EMTs and have moved on. So I understand why there is that hole.
Yes, and just to be clear, they don't have a guaranteed job with Lifestar. They will have to get hired by Lifestar and keep the job, but they will be reimbursed with the course. But you think about it, if people are really passionate and they're good at this and they enjoy the training, there likely is a job out there for them because there is a demand for EMTs. More of the 4 to 5 is coming up right after this. Stick around.
Checking the voice. 1, 2, 3. The golden pipes. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello. I know, you know. So anytime we say the words fair food, you know it's something that you can't miss. But the event I'm going to tell you about, I'm calling this Fast Fair Food, because the Central Carolina Fair, you know, the organizers there, they may not have the actual fair this year, but they say they're not going to not deny us any of the fair food. Here's my conversation with Daryl Desgrange of Michael's Amusements. Daryl, you and I were joking, halfway joking. I wish we could trademark the term drive-through because we see it everywhere these days. Let's talk about what we will expect to see with you at the Coliseum.
Fair food festivals, drive-throughs, have become the replacement for county fairs and state fairs in almost the majority of the states in the United States. So Central Carolina Fair, being that we didn't happen in September, we're going to have the Fair Food Festival at the Greensboro Coliseum coming up this weekend, and we're going to bring you all the great fair foods. And you know, over the years, Greensboro has had a delicacy that has been repeated year after year, and the number one food that we get requested for is turkey legs.
Why does that not surprise me that turkey legs are up there? When you do this all over the country, so this is the trend now, right? This is kind of what we're living with.
Well, this is what we're forced to deal with, and again, safe is the key word here. So the drive-through, the way it works, of course, is just like a normal drive-through. You pull up, an order taker will come out and take your order, then go get it from the different food stands and then bring the order to you.
Well, all I can say is we're just happy that we get the food, right? I don't care how you deliver it to me. I just want it in the mouth and in the belly. We appreciate you, man.
And of course, you know, all this stuff is real healthy food too.
Yeah,
you know, you gotta have
so true.
Eggs, candy apples, and the cotton candy. And corn dogs is the number 2 seller.
All right. Well, thank you, man. See, now I'm hungry. Now I got to leave the set and go eat. We'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you know, and again, I agree. No matter how you get it, just give me that. I was surprised, though, that turkey legs are the number one thing. I thought funnel cake or something sweet would be there. Deep fried anything.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things like the turkey legs. I feel like you can only get them at the fair. It's not like you can get them anywhere else. And funnel cake too, even though you can kind of make that at home, they have the kits, but there's nothing like a turkey leg with the wrapping paper over it, the aluminum foil. You just dig into it.
Really get into your primal side, right? Just a giant hunk of turkey meat. Chilton, once again, with the food stories. You knew this was coming.
A little early. It's not 4:53 yet, but I do my best.
Yes, you just want to, like, it's like an appetizer. What's coming up at 4:53? What are you talking about then?
Soda, actually.
I rest my case.
There you go.
I rest my case.
Y'all are making me hungry. And plus, I'm working up an appetite here, too, tracking all of this rain that we have across the Triad. You can see it's still pretty scattered right now and nothing more than some light to heavy rain in some places. But it is scattered, and that will continue as we head throughout the rest of the evening. And if we zoom out on a wider view of the radar, you can still see there's plenty of moisture left to go, all ahead of this cold front swinging by. Behind that cold front, things are dry as you go across the rest of the country. Now, as we head through the rest of the evening, I do want to let you know this is a little new than what we mentioned earlier in the day, but there is at least a low chance of a strong or severe storm somewhere across the Triad. It's not a great chance, but it is warm and it's really muggy too. That would help to add any fuel to thunderstorms. So we'll just watch for that as we head throughout the rest of the evening. Taking you through in time and futurecast and showing you the rain will continue on and off as we head through the rest of your Thursday evening. And honestly, I don't think we've seen the heaviest of our rain yet. I think that comes tomorrow morning through the morning commute hours. So plan a couple extra minutes tomorrow morning if you plan on heading outdoors or heading to work. As far as rain totals go, much higher back to the west in our mountains, generally between 1/4 and 1/2 inch for us so far in the Triad. And like I mentioned, these dew points are pretty representative of September, not early November, and temperature-wise too. Overnight, we'll stay in the 60s. That rain will continue on and off, heavy at times, getting heavier going into the morning commute hours of Thursday. We're back in the 70s tomorrow with that heavy rain in the morning. It will start to taper off to more of a drizzle in the afternoon, and then slowly but surely, we start some clearing. We dry out and we cool down heading into the weekend. I'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up on your 4 to 5.
Today is a very special day when we honor our nation's veterans. Around the Triad, different ceremonies happened, including one at Wake Forest University. The university's annual Veterans Day ceremony was put on at the Wake Forest Army ROTC. This year's event was held virtually because of the ongoing pandemic, but that did not stop them from honoring our country's heroes.
A Greensboro veteran is getting the opportunity of a lifetime this Sunday when the Panthers take on the Bucks in Charlotte. John Thompson will get to sing the national anthem on the Panthers video board. WFMY News 2's photojournalist Brian Hall spoke with him about that opportunity and what today means for him here in the Triad.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow. That was so good. It looks like we got a sneak peek of what we are going to get to see and hear on Sunday. And in the video, you could see some of the veterans across the Triad that people had sent in photos of those that they are thinking of. And of course, we thank everyone in the military for their service.
Yeah, and I think that this is just always such a special day. My grandfather, Thurman Midkiff, served in World War II, and we were always brought up on his war stories and just sharing the admiration and the respect that all of our veterans deserve today and every day. So I think that it is a great time to pause, and just the fact that we got to sit here for the last few moments and listen to a veteran sing the national anthem is really something special.
Yeah, it sure is. I'll tell you what, Maddie, like you mentioned, my grandpa was in World War II, and this is our first Veterans Day without him. And I never realized how much I would treasure those moments where we would just sit and he would tell us about the war stories, and I mean stuff you can't even fathom that that these folks went through, these brave men and women to defend our freedoms. And so really, I truly think it's the greatest generation. So any chance that you have today to pause and remember those folks is great.
I would agree with you with that, Christian. And Tom Brokaw wrote that book, The Greatest Generation, and that there's something to be said. We don't fight wars like that anymore. I will say this. I think there should be a Veterans Week and not just a Veterans Day, because you can't encapsulate everything you want to do in one day for these folks.
Yeah, and a special shout out, our production assistant, Brent, who is usually here, is a veteran as well. So we want to send our thanks to him. He has the day off, as he should.
Thank you, Brent.
We'll be right back.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Hi, Mike check Maddie. Mike check Maddie. I just opened the Thursday rundown because in my brain we're a day ahead.
Hey, it's me, Mike check 1 2 3 4. I'm still thinking about that funnel cake. Eric Chilton making me hungry.
Okay, so a memory of me eating a huge turkey leg was not at a fair, but at a medieval feast that we did in my elementary school. Good times, good times.
Hello, checking 1 2. Stand by for CHEERWINE recipes coming up in a few blocks.
Good Wednesday afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Tahisha Moise, Eric Chilton, and Christian Morgan.
Yes, we are here to inform you, make you feel connected, and let you into our world.
We're talking right now on Facebook, so make sure you jump into WFMY News 2's Facebook page and use that hashtag 4 to 5 to stay connected.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it as the transition of power for the White House continues to be put on pause. President Donald Trump today commemorated Veterans Day by laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, while President-elect Joe Biden took time out of working on the transition to attend a ceremony in Philadelphia. President Trump is still not recognizing Mr. Biden as the president-elect. The Trump campaign has filed a new lawsuit in Michigan with 234 pages of affidavits claiming voter irregularities. Georgia's Secretary of State announced a full-hand recount of every vote to ensure the validity of the results.
This will help build confidence. It will be an audit, a recount, and a recanvass all at once.
President Trump's refusal to accept the outcome of the election means President-elect Biden is not receiving the presidential daily intelligence briefings that incoming presidents usually get.
Well, meanwhile, President-elect Biden says that he wants to see a mask mandate in every single state. Now, it's not clear whether he would have the power to enforce a national mask mandate. Biden is hopeful, though, that state leaders will follow his leadership and create their own mandates. Right now, only 15 states don't have statewide mask orders, all of which are led by Republican governors. If governors don't issue mask mandates, Biden says he will try to work with county and city leaders.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup right now. Coronavirus hospitalizations here in the U.S. have hit an all-time high with almost 62,000 COVID-19 patients nationwide. The U.S. also reported a new 136,000 new infections yesterday. That is the 8th day in a row with 100,000 cases or more. Some hospitals in Ohio may have to stop non-emergency procedures again. Wisconsin's governor issued new stay-at-home orders following another record day of hospitalizations and death. And in Iowa, masks are now required in most public places. And over in Europe, hospital beds are full as coronavirus cases spike there. Italy is swamped again after becoming the epicenter of the pandemic last spring. Nurses in Naples are handing out oxygen tanks to people in their cars as they struggle to breathe while waiting in long lines to be admitted. ICUs in France are so packed, coronavirus patients are being airlifted to hospitals in Germany, but beds are filling up fast there too. And in the UK, officials are turning to mass testing, with testing people with or without symptoms to stop the spread. In other news, when scientists in Washington state destroyed the first nest of so-called murder hornets here in the U.S., turns out they discovered about 500 live specimens in various stages of development. Now, if they had not found and eradicated the nest when they did, they'd be looking at the possibility of 200 more nests. Scientists think other nests already exist and say it's impossible to know if any queens escaped before the first nest was destroyed. The giant insects can deliver painful, though rarely deadly stings to people and can wipe out entire hives of honeybees. The firing of Defense Secretary Mark Esper by the president was not the only change in the Pentagon Tuesday. In the hours after, the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, James Anderson, Undersecretary for Intelligence, Joseph Kernan, and Esper's Chief of Staff, Jen Stewart, all resigned. Now, Anderson's release was sudden. He resigned before he could be fired, but Kernan's had been planned. Stewart is being replaced by Kash Patel, a controversial former aide to Republican Representative Devin Nunes.
And weather-wise across the Triad, you guys should see what's happening during the commercial breaks and off camera. It's something else. Weather-wise across the Triad, it's something else too. We have scattered rain that will continue as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon. Now, it's not raining everywhere all the time, but it is coming in rounds, and some of those rounds are quite heavy. There's still tons of moisture down to our south to go, really all moving in ahead of this cold front. Behind the cold front, it's dry, and that's what we're looking forward to. Now, I do want to mention this. This is pretty new this afternoon, but we do have a low risk of a strong or severe storm across the area, as some of those showers and storms could turn a little on the strong side, but that's not a guarantee. It's a very low threat, but it's not nothing. So I thought I should mention that. As we go through in time on Futurecast, I really don't think we've seen the heaviest of our rain just yet. I think it gets here tomorrow morning in the morning commute hour. So plan a couple extra minutes for your travel tomorrow morning. There will be rounds of heavy, drenching rain, and that's also where I think we have the best chance for any flooding concerns as well. By the afternoon, it starts to move away from us, and we're left with just some drizzle for your Thursday afternoon as that cold front slides by. Chilly high pressure will start to build in for the weekend and much drier days ahead. So overnight, we keep the chance for rain and storms. Some of that rain, heavy at times, will be in the 60s for overnight lows. Here's your planner for Thursday. Again, plan some extra minutes in your morning travel to account for that heavy rain and the potential for flash flooding concerns. Through the afternoon, though, temperatures start to fall and we start drying out. As far as rain totals go, generally, I think anywhere from 2 to 4 inches is going to be a good bet across the Triad. Of course, higher amounts to the south and east of Greensboro. Drier days are to come, and we cool down. We'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up.
As we continue to honor our nation's heroes this Veterans Day, the Greensboro Transit Authority is going the extra mile for our veterans. They have turned one of their buses into a mobile resource center for Triad veterans. The resources on the bus will be available to help every veteran in need.
Every Veterans Day is important, but this year we just felt like that we needed to go the extra mile in order to ensure that our veterans are taken care of, that they are aware of information that will benefit them and to help them to live the best life possible.
The bus will also become part of the normal GTA service, and a military veteran will drive it.
Well, of course, today we continue to honor the service and sacrifice of our United States veterans. So my question of the day is, what does this day, Veterans Day, mean to you? Let's see what you had to say on Facebook. Bobby Odom says, to me, it's a day to pay tribute and to honor all veterans who have served and the ones who are currently serving this great country that we live in. Janet Beasley says it's a day to remember all who fought for our country and our freedom, all that are gone and all who continue to fight. Tim Potts says it's a day to remember all of the veterans. And Eric Smith has a unique perspective. He says only about 7% of Americans have worn a U.S. military uniform. As a United States Army veteran, it's about honor, courage, freedom, and pride to be one of the few that gave an oath to protect this great country. And thank you for your service, Eric Smith. Yeah, it is a day to pause and reflect and to just try to comprehend the service and the sacrifice. I don't think that those words can be said enough that these men and women have paid to us.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. A day to pause, a day to honor, a day to remember. I know in my family, you know, that was a big thing to serve in the military. My cousin served. And so, of course, like many of you, we all have an attachment to the military one way or another. And you don't have to look far, even outside of our team here, to do that.
No, I'll tell you what, and again, just a shout out to our production assistant, Brent, who's normally here throughout the day, but he's off today. Very much needed a day off. You know, Taisha, you mentioned it. I don't think we can ever even imagine or even fathom what these brave men and women have gone through. You know, I mentioned listening to stories from my grandpa. It's just stuff that you can't even comprehend that they went through and that they endured to fight for us and put their lives on the line for our freedom. So definitely a day to remember, and we really need more than that.
Yeah, and you know, I have, like, my next door neighbor's a veteran. Across the street from me is someone who's currently enlisted. He's career military. It was kind of heartwarming the other day. One of my two younger ones were asking what they should do, and my wife said, "Why don't you write a note to them?" So they wrote thank you cards from a 7 and 10-year-old and put them on their doors. And you know, the sacrifices they make being away from their families when they're enlisted is just, you can't discount that.
Absolutely. A special thank you to all who served and are serving.
All right, so this is Marcelle Harrison. She and her family have lived in this home for 4 decades. Her mom and stepfather bought the home in 1980, but because her stepfather died without a will, she's being kicked out of this house. So, Maddie, no one wants to talk about wills. No one wants to talk about estate planning, but...
Yeah, but when you see in this instance, it leaves a big mess, and that really is not what the family wants to deal with or even thought would happen.
Oh, absolutely not. And you think the courts are just going to give whatever you have to your family, but if you haven't put it in writing on paper, the court thinks that you didn't want it that way.
Think about what would happen if I were to pass away. Who gets my stuff? Who makes financial decisions for me? Who makes healthcare decisions for me at end of life?
All right, so other essential documents like power of attorney, a healthcare proxy, a letter of instruction, which outlines other wishes. Hey, if you don't know anything about that stuff, no worries. We got you covered. We have a wills, estates, and power of attorney expert coming in. You can ask your questions from 5:30 until 5:45. You can text those questions. Let's put the number there for you on the bottom of the screen. That's 336-379-5775. This is your chance to talk to a lawyer for free.
So check this out. Chefs and mixologists all across the state are actually teaming up with the folks at CHEERWINE. They're sharing all the ways, it's hard to believe this happens, but they use this cherry soda in recipes. We're not just drinks, we're talking food as well. So I spoke with Jody Morphus. He owns Blue Denim Restaurant in downtown Greensboro. He's on that list of the 11 chefs and bartenders across the state that are working with this. And I asked him, what are you doing with CHEERWINE in a recipe? Here's what he had to say. So Jody, I've eaten in your restaurant many times, love it, and it's kind of crazy. I thought, how in the world would you use CHEERWINE in a recipe? But they reached out to you and you were already doing this.
Well, they sent us an email and asked us if we used CHEERWINE in our recipes, and we said yes. We use them in 3 different recipes. We use them with duck confit, hot tamales, and our duck sauté dish. And so, you know, we were able to go from there, and we sent on a recipe with the CHEERWINE, with the duck confit with the CHEERWINE and Zinfandel reduction.
So Jody, for me, I'm a foodie, but I can't cook worth a darn. So I'm thinking, like, how in the world do you introduce CHEERWINE into a fancy dish like duck confit?
Well, the cherry always pairs well with duck, so the CHEERWINE, which is kind of cherry flavored, and it is a little sweet, so we'll either, you know, mix it with some wine or sometimes some rice wine vinegar. And when you do that, it helps, you know, it brings the sweetness down of the CHEERWINE a little bit, but then also it really helps, it helps cut through the, you know, the really fattiness of the duck confit.
So really, anytime, I mean, when you partner with a a Carolina tradition like this, there's some pride involved, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we love the fact that they're from just down the road in Salisbury, and we've been drinking CHEERWINE in our family for a long time, and it's always great to be able to use another local product in any of our dishes.
Jody, thanks so much. Can't wait to try it out, my friend. Best of luck with this. All right, so I asked you on Facebook, I said, what is your go-to soda other than Coke and Pepsi? Because I know what the answers would be if we included that. And there's a common thread here. Take a look. Sherry says, my favorite soda is Diet Dr. Pepper and sugar-free Twist. Teresa says, I love sun-kissed orange poured over vanilla ice cream. This sounds awesome. She said the first time I ever had that was at Disney World on a day when it was close to 90 degrees. So good. Sounds like a creamsicle, doesn't it? Jody says knee-high peach and in the glass bottle, preferably. Lori says Verner's ginger ale, the only wonderfully tasty ginger ale. Kathy says Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. By the way, Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew were all over this, and ginger ale as well. And then Cindy Allen said, I've never heard of this, but this sounds great. Blackberry ginger ale, which sounds really good. My wife got me a soda stream for a couple of Christmases ago, so you can mix and do your own thing, and that is a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, I know that you are a soda drinking household. Even your youngest Drew has her favorite soda.
Well, she sneaks it from me. I only have the diet. There's a diet drink right there, as a matter of fact. Leslie won't let us have it in the house, so I have to sneak it in when I can.
It's so funny. I had to say I was going with CHEERWINE, but then the peach knee-high in a glass bottle comment really got me. I am always just so surprised. I know that CHEERWINE is a North Carolina thing, but the number of people who haven't had it always surprises me.
Me too. Me too. Hey, real quick, funny story about CHEERWINE since it's Veterans Day. Talking about my grandpa again. He's from Salisbury, so he grew up in CHEERWINE country there. And when he was in the war, of course, none of his comrades had ever heard of CHEERWINE. So his dad would send him boxes of CHEERWINE, and they would say, oh, what is that? So he would trade them a CHEERWINE, and they would give him a Coke in return, and that's how they passed it around while they were in the war.
It's an awesome story.
Like his dad was the MVP. He kept asking, when's your dad sending more CHEERWINE? I'm sure once they got a taste.
He said they did ask.
I love that. It is good stuff. That cherry cola that we all love. All right, the 4 to 5 is coming right back. Remember, you can always be a part of our conversations. Use our hashtag 4 to 5 or join us on Facebook.
College basketball is back. Almost. North Carolina and Duke are ranked in the preseason top 25, but one school in our backyard is not too far out of that poll. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson explains.
It's about to start college basketball season. The Associated Press releasing its top 25 preseason poll just days ago. UNCG not ranked, but they did receive a vote for the first time in program history ahead of the season. Just one vote, but it means someone is noticing this team. The Spartans returning 12 players this season, including redshirt junior guard Caleb Hunter. He tells me how it feels to be a part of a team that is getting some national attention.
It's huge. It's huge, man. We in a blessed opportunity right now with this pandemic, man, with our team, and the fact that somebody just sees us like being capable to be top 25 in the nation is just huge, man. We want to do that, so we're gonna work every day to try to do that. And we was shocked. So we had a team player meeting, like, guys, like, you see what the people are saying, like let's we're up to a high standard. So now we just going in, practice just one day at a time. Like, we thinking just about today, just getting better every single day. So it was exciting seeing that. So that just gave us like a little motivation.
Hunter says this team is clicking together and could be one of the most talented teams this program has ever had. We'll get a chance to see them in action 2 weeks from today, November 25th, when they open the season on the road against Little Rock.
Hey, and I also wanted to add that UNCG was picked #1 in the preseason SoCon coaches poll, and their star player, of course, Isaiah Miller, was named Conference Preseason Player of the Year. Wow. So UNCG, I know we're looking to you once the season starts, but I know we have some UNC fans in the house as well.
Hey, look, I like the G. Plus, Wes Miller went to Carolina. Let's be honest.
Head coach is a Tar Heel. It makes sense why they're doing so well. I'm just kidding. They have a lot of talent on that team. As Amanda said, returning 12 players is a huge deal. Don't sleep on the Spartans. I'm excited for them this season. It's great that we will be able to have such high-level basketball right here in our own backyard.
And real quick, too, Wes Miller was named, if I remember right, I think he was named #1 in ESPN's list of top 40 coaches under 40 years old. He's only 37, and they listed him as #1, and he's already the winningest coach in UNCG basketball history. So you may be looking at someone who could vie for Roy's spot one day, since he's very close to Coach Roy Williams. We'll see.
I'm excited for basketball season to start because I feel like because of the pandemic, we were slighted the very important end of basketball season last year.
All right, weather-wise across the Triad, continuing to track rain moving across the Triad this evening and on into tomorrow. Right now it's pretty scattered, but I do want to draw attention to this one area of storms just south of Winston-Salem and north of Lexington right now moving over Arcadia. There is some torrential rain and also some lightning with this storm as well. So if you're driving in these areas, it's probably going to be blinding, making it hard to drive for the next several minutes. So be on guard for that. There's still plenty of rain left to go as we head into the overnight hours, and we can't rule out the possibility of a strong or severe storm somewhere across the area. There's not a great chance of that. But as we head through the overnight hours, that rain will continue. And honestly, I think the heaviest of rain doesn't arrive until tomorrow morning during that morning commute time frame. So plan on that and plan a couple extra minutes in your morning travel to account for that. Once the cold front gets out of here, high pressure will build in and we will finally start to dry out and clear out heading into the weekend. Just plan. There could be some flooding issues tomorrow morning, but things do taper off to a drizzle tomorrow afternoon and clearing out heading into the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, both really nice days of weather. We're back in the 60s and it feels like fall heading through the weekend and into next week. Your 4 to 5 will be right back.
Hello? Did you just ask for me? Oh, hi. Ice cold milk and an orange.
Callie Clendenin is the producer of the...
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California.
Callie Clendenin is the
All right, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.